All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Harakakwadash. A double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere Shalom to Yakim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. So this is from ClarionLedger.com, and it reads, Mississippi bill would create bounty hunter program to hunt undocumented migrants. This is part of the hails in which Jake are going to catch. Now it's not passed yet. But the fact that they're bringing it up shows you, how close we are into the end, right? Let's get into the reading of it, and then we're gonna hop into the precepts. It says a new bill in Mississippi, if passed, will create a bounty hunting program to hunt down undocumented migrants. Now, this is the question, especially understanding the roots of Mississippi, right? Understanding that the South was always, extremely racist unto to Jake, right? By the crimes of hanging, by the crimes of torture, so forth and so on, done unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? Because the land over there was Gad and Reuben's, before, E inhabited it. But nevertheless, understanding the history and understanding the hatred, that perpetual hatred that Esau still has, how are they going to be able to dictate who's illegal or undocumented versus those that aren't? Because just by looking at Jake, you can't necessarily tell. You may have some Jakes, especially when you look at Issachar and the rest of the 12. It's like the rest of the Northern Kingdom. You may be down there. When you look at them, especially the men that are working, they all tend to have, the same features, man. To be able to differentiate who has papers and who don't is kind of impossible. It's really going to be just going out on a limb and saying, oh, well, you look like you're not from here. But it's going to be a case where it'll be a Jake who got their papers and were born and raised here, and Esau is still going to get them, right? Which could spark even more race riots, so forth and so on, man. But this just goes to show you how crazy things are about to get. See, and this is why the scripture tells us in the book of Daniel 12, right? Speaking about the hails that's upon the earth. And this is just particularly the sword from Esau. This isn't even all of the chaos in which Yahweh Shai is going to bring from the plagues, the pestilence, the newly created creatures, the apparitions, the famine, so forth and so on. This is Daniel 12 at the top. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, who standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. And that's for the elect, man. The elect are going to be delivered from it. But the rest of Jake, you're going to get caught up in these plagues. Why? Because ultimately, Yahweh Shai has you marked either as a member of the elect, and you have the Tawah, which is the mark of exemption, or you're going to be marked for judgment. That's just how it is, right? This Jeremiah 30 and 7. And it reads, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, right? And we understand that the scriptures tell us in 1 Peter 4 and 17, for the Lord shall start at the house of Israel, man. He shall start at the house of Israel, meaning what? Starting with Jake, right? So it says, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The elect are going to be saved. Everybody else are going to be fully caught in it, man. Speaking of Israel and then the rest of the heathen nations. This is something that Jake has to personally deal with, because they've been obedient unto Yahweh Shai. Even in the time in which he opened up a place of repentance unto them, they still, they fanned their hand at it, and they didn't repent. So the Lord is going to allow Esau to wreak havoc, and that's if this pass. And I'll say this as well. Nevertheless, if it does or does not pass, guess what? Yahweh Shai is still going to allow Esau to bring forth hail to Jake. And I'm going to go into this article, and I'm going to grab that precept. It says, DeSoto County District Attorney Matthew Barton announced the proposed legislation in a news release. So just the fact that, they came to this in writing, man, just the fact that they came to this in writing shows you how much they hate you, man. It shows Jake exactly how much they hate you. It says, this Isaiah 10 at the top, and it reads, what sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. Because here it is, this law, if being put in place is completely unjust, man. right? And we also know that Jake is going to also go in on Esau, but Esau's blessing is the sword. Jake's blessing isn't the sword. Our blessing is in the fact that we have the power, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shai. That's where our power lies. We have no strength in our hand, for we shall not trust in our bow, and our sword shall not save us, man. Right? So this is a unrighteous decree. But it's going to be used if it goes through to bring forth judgment unto Israel, man. Matter of fact, I'm reading NLT. It says, they deprive the poor, this is verse 2, of justice and deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. What will you do when I punish you? When I send disaster upon you from a distant land? To whom will you turn for help? Where will your treasures be safe? You will stumble along as prisoners or lie among the dead. But even then, the Lord's anger will not be satisfied, right? Because Yahweh Shai is pissed off at Jake, man. Says his fist is still poised to strike. What sorrow awaits Assyria, the rod of my anger? I use it as a club to express my anger. I am sending Assyria, and this is speaking of Esau. The Lord is going to send Esau to bring forth judgment unto Jake, man. Right? It says, I am sending Assyria against a godless nation, right? Because Jake is in that heathen state. It says, against the people with whom I am angry, Assyria will plunder them, trampling them like dirt beneath its feet. So when we keep reading, it says House Bill 1484 would create the Mississippi illegal alien certified bounty hunter program if the state passes it into law. Both men say this fits with immigration policy changes endorsed by Donald Trump. So as soon as a Trump got into office, really before he got into office, after he won, they've been having these writings already ready to be enacted, man. This legislation was already pre-written. And Esau is ready to get down, man. He wants his country back. And he wants the same spirit that America once had when we were in chains. And he wants that to be back upon the earth, man. Which this ultimately goes back into the book in Genesis where it says now, based I believe it may be Genesis 25 or 27, when Esau said, now will I utterly slay my brother Jacob. Here we go. Genesis 27. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 39 and 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword, which is the modern day weapon, right? And the sword comes in multiple forms, but this is speaking of, the actual weapon, right? And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break the yoke from off his neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then would I slay my brother Jacob. And that's plain, man. It says, and these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. And that same spirit, is never went away, man. Right? It says this legislation is about keeping Mississippi community safe. We've seen firsthand. Now, the funny thing about this, right, is they're going to ultimately target Jake. But Jake isn't the only quote-unquote immigrants that have come into this country, man. You have all nations. You got Moab that came in here. You got Elam that have came in here. You've had other Edomites that came in here. You had Ham that came in here. So all nations have immigrated themselves into this country, but they are only writing these laws for Jake. Showing you that what? The hatred is never left, man. They will continue and continue to try to take you off the earth, man. It says the legislation is about keeping Mississippi community safe. We've seen firsthand the danger posed by bad actors and violent criminals who enter this country illegally, like the innocent life of Lake and Ray. Trump's administration has made it clear that deporting illegal immigrants is priority, and we are proud to do our part here in Mississippi. In the state of Mississippi, to help support his agenda and protect our citizens. Right? It says, what would the bill do if passed? Like it says, according to the news release, the proposed legislation would offer $1,000. Hey man, this is the spirit too. Just thinking about it now, because Yahweh Shimon Shai had me do a lesson last night about the atrocities done to Gad, and the spirit hit me to mention scalping that was done into Gad, man, because Esau was getting paid because Gad and Reuben had bounties on their head. Basically, every scalp that they brought back from Jake that they killed, they would receive monetary funds from it, man. So this, in a sense, is just a advance to the society in which we live in today. It says they offer $1,000 reward to registered bounty hunters for each successful deportation they help facilitate. And you know what, he don't want to capture him alive. He wants to kill, man. The scriptures say he's not satisfied with blood. So he give a damn about that $1,000 if he can just go and plunder, put that ancient spirit back into him, right? Because guess what? If they're giving $1,000 for every person, every head, so to speak, then he is just gonna go rampant. He gonna get a team of ex-military vets, or police officers, and he gonna literally go around neighborhoods, daytime and nighttime, and go. This is his spirit. You're basically giving him incentives to kill. $1,000 a head. He is gonna be creating teams like Call of Duty and going around, man. He gonna be playing Warzone. Right? Because he could then say, oh, well, they shot at us, so we just had to do what we had to do. And who they gonna believe? You think the Mississippi police department gonna take the side of illegal immigrants over their own? You gotta be out your mind if you think that, man. It says the funds will come from the General Assembly for the state treasurer to administer, and it will go into effect July 1st, right? It says the text also defines a crime of trespass by an illegal alien as a felony. It says for which the authorized term of imprisonment is life imprisonment without eligibility for probation, parole, conditional release, or release except by the act of the governor or the natural death of such person. So even if they take them to jail, the quote unquote illegal immigrants, then they could just off them into prison. Right? It says that can change if the federal government takes custody of the person and deports them within 24 hours. But that costs money. That costs money. If you seen that movie Civil War, what did he say? He said, what type of American are you? When the dude answered wrongly and said he wasn't born here, what did he do? Unalived him immediately, tossed him in the hole in that big ass pit full of the rest of the people, man. So how much more, that was predictive programming. The law would also require anyone arrested on the charge to submit a DNA sample. He don't care about that shit, man. That's just what they're stating. But even in that, you can't trust the devil. Because that means in order to take a DNA sample to see if you're from here or not, right? That means they're going to be picking up people or trying to deport and capture people who are citizens, quote unquote. It says, what are the changes Trump wants to make to immigration? Matter of fact, I read that in Isaiah 10. I read this in Genesis. I want to grab this in the book of Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. This is Ezekiel 35:5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, right? Meaning constant, ongoing, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? That perpetual hatred, and shed the blood. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Shimon Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And now there's a movie. Lord, well, I can't remember the name, but I remember the premise. Basically, it was the Edomites on the border, and they were literally sniping Jakes, that were trying to cross the border. They were unaliving them, man, with snipers. Can't remember the name, but they were in the desert, the southern border of the U.S., and they were literally hunting our people, man. And this is the movie that appeared in theaters right? So that was predictive programming as well, man. But hey, this just goes to show you how ugly it's about to get. It says hours after Trump took office, he signed executive orders that worked to change the immigration system and send military troops to the Mexican border to combat a newly declared emergency. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. President falsely claimed that the U.S. is the only country with birthright citizenship, which makes any child born on American soil a citizen regardless of their parents' citizenship. He signed an order seeking to eliminate the practice, which is protected by the 14th Amendment. 18 states and the ACLU are challenging the executive order in court. How many undocumented migrants live in Mississippi? An August 2024 report from the Mississippi office estimated 22,000 undocumented migrants are in the state, costing taxpayers more than $100 million per year. 25 mil, okay, financial breakdown. So that means it's $220,000 out there, according to Esau. No, Salakia. Let's do the math. Say 22,000 times 1,000. Salak. It's 22 million. I said 1,000. I was completely off. Salak. I didn't count them 3 zeros on 1,000 and multiplying by the rest of them zeros on 22,000. You know, that's $22 million. $22 million. And he can go out there and hunt. Basically, that's what it is. He can go out there and hunt. You know, and this legislation will fully allow him to do that. Just like how in the time of I believe when Moses, even I believe when Yahweh Shai, how Pharaoh had his his army, those individuals go out and unalive the male children under the year of, I believe, of 2 or 3 years old, man. Right? Well, he is doing it again. Even though that was, Ham. It's being done again, man. It says the illegal immigration problem is spiraling out of control and is costing taxpayers millions. All right. This program is a vital step in assisting our law enforcement agencies to better enforce immigration laws and ensure that those in the country unlawfully are sent back to their country of origin. When President Trump took office, he immediately recognized the emergency at our borders, rolling out executive orders to combat illegal immigrations and cartels. Hey, now the cartel niggas, man, Yahweh Shai Shai gonna deal with them, man. Hey, them the rebels. And that's a whole different lesson. But nevertheless, them some wicked niggas right there. Those are wicked niggas for sure. Right? So if he get them, hey, good riddance. Them, they definitely 2/3. Right? Legal immigration is a cornerstone of America, and we must ensure that our borders are secure and the safety of Mississippians come first. Hey, but as you see it, man, hey, we're gonna see if this this legislation is actually if it actually becomes a law. And if it does, hey, Mississippi get on it. Mississippi. That means Louisiana may hop on it. Florida may hop on it. Texas. And the rest of the border countries. So we'll see. Hey, but the fact that it's in writing shows you that he ain't playing, and Yahweh Shai Shai is going to allow this hell to come real fast, man. Hey, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the body. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Harakakodash. A double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere shalom to Yakim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.